Do you believe it's possible to see Jesus with your own eyes during Mass? It seems impossible, but a saint of the Church saw him, and what she described is breathtaking. Saint Faustina, known as the Secretary of Mercy, wrote in her diary about profound visions of Jesus in the Eucharist. These weren't symbolic or figurative images. She saw Christ himself, alive, present in the Consecrated Host, with details that make us rethink how we participate in Mass. In this video, you'll discover the most impactful descriptions of these visions, what the Church says about them, and why these accounts have the power to change your spiritual life forever. Stay until the end and comment below, "I believe, Lord," if this truth touches your heart. Saint Faustina Kowalska was born in Poland in 1905. From humble beginnings and with a deep spiritual life, she became a nun in the congregation of the Sisters of Our Lady of Mercy. But what made her known worldwide was the extraordinary call she received from Jesus, to be the Apostle of Divine Mercy. She wasn't just a devout nun, she was a mystic. Through profound revelations, Jesus entrusted her with messages about his merciful heart, the value of trust, and the divine desire to save souls. She wrote all of this in her famous diary, now officially recognized by the Church. Among so many supernatural experiences, Faustina had impressive visions of Jesus in the Eucharist. She saw with the eyes of her soul what our eyes cannot see: Christ himself, alive on the altar. These weren't metaphors but deep spiritual realities, which she described with clarity and obedience to the Church. These accounts weren't judged to be illusions. On the contrary, the Church welcomed them with prudence and discernment, and today she is a canonized saint. And what she saw might also change the way you look at the Consecrated Host. Saint Faustina's visions of the Eucharist are some of the most amazing ever recorded by a saint. She didn't just believe in the real presence of Christ at the altar, she saw this presence. In one of the most striking experiences, Faustina writes that, during Mass, she saw Jesus in the Consecrated Host with his heart open, pouring out blood and water. It wasn't a symbolic image. It was the crucified Christ himself, alive, exposed in love before her. She describes, "During Holy Mass I saw Jesus in the host, the same way he is represented in the image. I didn't see the priest, I only saw Jesus." Diary number 324. Another time she shares that as she received communion, Jesus appeared to her overflowing with light and said, "Here is the throne of my mercy, here I am alive." Diary number 1485. For Faustina, the Eucharist wasn't just a ritual. It was the moment when heaven touched earth, and she saw angels bowing down around the altar, worshipping with a reverence that was often missing from the faithful. In several passages, she recounts that Jesus asked her, "I desire to unite myself with human souls during Holy Mass, but few are those who receive me with true love." He showed sadness at the coldness of many hearts. And perhaps the strongest story. One time, Faustina saw how an unworthy soul received Jesus in communion. And what should have been grace became pain for the Lord. He himself said, "Communion is meaningless to many souls. I treat them like guests who come and go." Diary number 1385. These visions weren't given to make Faustina famous, but to wake us up, to show us what's really in front of us at the altar. How many of us go through Mass like it's just a routine? How many approach communion without even remembering they're before the living God? If this video is moving you, share it now with someone who needs a reminder of how amazing the Eucharist is. It might be the wake-up call they really need. Saint Faustina's visions are amazing, but does the Church confirm what she saw? The answer is yes, with care and good judgment. The Church recognized Saint Faustina as a saint, approved the Feast of Divine Mercy, and recognized the spiritual value of her diary as a tool for deepening faith, especially in the mystery of the Eucharist. But even before the visions, it was already doctrine. Jesus is truly present in the Consecrated Host. Body, blood, soul, and divinity. Not symbolically but substantially, as the Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches, in the most holy sacrament of the Eucharist. The body and blood, together with the soul and divinity of our Lord Jesus Christ, are truly, really, and substantially contained. The Catholic faith doesn't need mystical visions to believe in this. What Faustina experienced is an extraordinary gift, but the truth of the Eucharist is guaranteed by Christ since the Last Supper. This is my body. This is my blood. These experiences therefore don't create a new doctrine. They only reinforce with emotional and spiritual strength what the Church has always taught, that the altar is Calvary present, and that the Mass is a real encounter with God. So, it doesn't matter if you see it with your own eyes or not. Faith is enough. But if these visions help you believe more, to receive communion with more love, to bend your knees with more reverence, then they have already served their purpose. Saint Faustina's visions weren't meant to impress, but to awaken. Jesus showed her what many don't see: the neglect, the coldness, and the indifference towards the Eucharist. And this is a call out for all of us. How many times do we approach the altar distracted, in a hurry, with our hearts far away? How many times do we receive communion without fully realizing that we are receiving God Himself? Faustina wrote with pain. Jesus complained that He enters many hearts as if entering a tomb, and leaves without having anyone to talk to. The Eucharist should be the high point of our lives, but for many, it has become just another gesture, just another automatic ritual. These visions lay bare the truth. Jesus is there. He waits for us, and often He is ignored even by those who say they believe. You don't need to have mystical visions to change your attitude. It's enough to know what is happening there before us. Heaven touching earth. The same Christ of Calvary now hidden in the host. The same love, the same sacrifice. He comes to us out of love, and wants to be loved back. If this touches you, make a decision today. Go to Mass with a different perspective. Receive communion with reverence. Prepare yourself with confession. And when you kneel, know this: He is looking at you. Saint Faustina saw the invisible. She saw what our physical eyes can't see: Jesus alive in the consecrated host. But the question is, what about you? Do you see Him? Maybe not with your eyes, but with your heart, with the faith that believes in what Christ promised. Every Mass, every communion, is a meeting with God Himself, who humbles Himself to enter our souls. And what He wants most is to be loved in return. This isn't just about Faustina. It's about me and you. It's about how we experience the Eucharist. It's about whether there's still room in our hearts for a God who becomes bread. If this video touched you in any way, comment now. Jesus, I trust in you. This helps us spread this message, and it might be the answer someone else is waiting for to turn back to God. Like, subscribe to the channel and share with anyone who needs to rediscover the value of the Eucharist. And in the next videos, we'll continue exploring profound truths about the Eucharist and spiritual life. Don't miss out. Do you want to understand the prophecies shaping the future of the world? In the ebook Catholic Prophecies, The Future of the World Revealed, you'll uncover powerful messages from the Bible, saints, and Marian apparitions. Most importantly, you'll see how they connect to the times we are living in. Don't be left in the dark. Get your copy now. The link is in the description and pinned comment.